See that bright yellow stuff? That's sunshine, that is. Can't believe it. The weather said we might have a little bit, but look. Going in a bit now, obviously, because I've got camera out. Oh, so what we've done today. Welcome to the vlog. This is the window frame for Erling Watter, and what I had to do was just kind of like strengthen the edges where the screws hold this in from the outside. So that's what I has done with that. That's now ready for varnishing. Several coats of varnish before that goes in. We've painted the inside. That can go off now, we don't need that on. Water for washing everything down, cleaning everything down, because we've been doing lots of buildy stuff this week. Everything is covered in a layer of dust, so the big clean up shall be starting tomorrow. Got Aldi, a pineapple milkshake IPA yesterday. It was all right, $1.25 a can. It was all right, not as good as 99p. It tasted okay, but it tasted a little bit kind of like chemically metallic-y afterwards. You can tell I've been reading the tasting beer book, can't you? So I thought I'd have a go at making a similar one. So that's what I'm going to be one of the next ones on my list. But I thought I'd compare it to my milkshake IPA that I had, my peach milkshake IPA that I made sort of on purpose from an accident. I'll explain that another time. From a misprint in a book, and I thought, well, let's try it, see what it's like. And it was all right. It's good. It's lovely, actually. So as soon as I tried to sort of pull a glass off, obviously the keg emptied. So I spent most of the day washing out kegs, because I had a couple of empty kegs, and this one's currently for the Star San, getting ready to have the NEIPA, which is now been cold crashed enough to be kegged. The trouble is, I think there's so much matter in that conical fermenter. I don't think that the takeoff at the bottom is going to be above where all the trub is, sadly. I might try and turn it, but I think I might just siphon it as well. So I shall fill that full of carbon dioxide and then push the Star San out, and then as it's full of carbon monoxide, just pop the lid, put the siphon in, and then it's going to get a little bit of oxygen contact, but you know what, not a lot. These just washing. Told you about all that, getting all that ready. We have just set this to cold crash. This is the NEIPA from the yeast from Laura Cooper, and what I've done is put a couple of little bits of wood under there just to tilt this back a little bit, so as it all settles, hopefully this will be above the level of the takeout, so I can then do a fairly oxygen free transfer straight into a keg. Maybe not. We'll see. What else have we been doing? Garden. And the other thing, obviously, of course, as soon as I put another keg in, I replaced the milkshake IPA with the Bohemian Pilsner. My God, that's a brewing a bit. Garden. Someone sent me a message saying, loving your garden. Not much of a garden. The tomatoes from my neighbour are really doing well. I had to tie them back, but we started getting what will be tomatoes. These are like flower. Apparently that will be a tomato. Look, come on, you know that you could write everything I know about gardening on the back of a marijuana seed packet. Now, the spring onion things, they're coming up nicely, but also the peas are starting to pop through too. So I'm going to string some thing up, and then so we could have peas and whatever. Radish, done. You know what all these are. These are the French breakfast radishes, which I didn't think were going to germinate at all. They're all popping up nicely. No sign yet of the ginger. So I don't know, it might have been one of those that's been sprayed with a non-sprouting compound, and If so, I have just wasted £1.50. The kumquat tree doing nicely, keep pulling fruits off it, and it has lots of little new ones sort of like popped up. I don't know where they've gone now. Anyway, more radishes in our wildflower planter. Bloody inverter's doing my nutting on there. Need to work out why it keeps going into alarm mode. These from Lidl, these trees from Lidl are doing bonkers well. Incredibly well. Unfortunately, those who watched the previous video, the little tree from Marshall's hasn't done very well at all. Now I have emailed them. I think it's dead, poor thing. I've tried to do my best. When I potted it up, considering it came out of the van upside down, I've potted it up, try not to disturb the roots, not that there were many, but I think it's dead. So I've emailed Marshalls. I got an auto reply back saying we might get back to you within 3 weeks. I'll give them 3 weeks and then I'll just send them a bill for my time and a refund. Everything else isn't doing too bad. It's all looking quite good. I'm going to bring a couple more planters down here later, including the radishes in that aluminium planter. But yeah, it's not been a bad little day, is it? Got some sunshine and got me kegs washed, and about to get some NEIPA in a keg and see how long we can resist knocking that back. This is my favourite little thing at the moment. Look at this, beautiful. Isn't that lovely? This was is it a lily? Look, come on, I don't do plant names much, but how beautiful is that? I always think there's something highly erotic about lilies, the way they tempt. And this is one that I rescued this from our old house just before we left, and every year it's just done amazing, beautiful. We're going to replace these planters this year because they're past their best, as you can see. I was thinking of trying to repair it, but fuck it, it's not worth it. The plywood's all rotten, so we're going to use more of those there along the front here, and then we will have matching matching curtains between lions. Right, well, let's go and get this NEIPA kegged. Shall we, Delilah? Yes, we will. We'll get our NEIPA in there. We have the NEIPA all kegged. Sorry, there it is. I'm going to bung it in here. Oh, perhaps I'm not going to bung it in there. Okay. I might have to bung it back in the fridge that it was fermented in. But that is the NEIPA, actually, inspired by Timmy Jenkins, as was one of these. That one back there is a Sauvignon Blanc. That was Timmy as well. Let's have a look, see what's left in the FV. Right, before we chuck it in this fridge, we need to weigh it to see how much we got in there. So, oh, that's easily 18. Right, now I know that it's not 18, it's just under 18. A corny keg weighs 4.2 kilos. So if it's 4 kilos, we would have 18 in there. So we've got just under 18 litres in there, which is all right. That's okay. I've purged it all. I've sploshed it all and burped it all, and whatever. That's okay. 18 litres. That's 36 pints in old money. of NEIPA. So let's now, as I said we would do, go and have a look at what's left in the fermentation vessel. Back out in garden. Let's move lid. This was what was left. And this was why we couldn't draw anything off. Now, I know these arms are supposed to be adjustable from the outside, but in reality you just end up fucking the seal, so I don't bother doing it. But that's okay. I had a reasonably good siphon. The little sock I put on the bottom of the siphon got a little bit clogged towards the bottom, obviously, because I might have got 50 mil more out of there. But this is what happens with these quite substantial dry hops. I'd already taken some of the yeast trub out before dry hopping it, but all that's your hops, that is, and a fair degree of trub. Now some people would pour that into a jar and let it settle and try and harvest the yeast. Fuck that. Use slants or just culture yeast from the original yeast. Don't try and harvest it. It really is just a lot of work for very, very little return, and poor return as well. I know some people will disagree with that, but I don't give a fuck. Look, for the sake of making some slants, or the sake of just growing a starter and then harvesting a bit of that off before you actually chuck it in here, just do that, please. It's easier. This lot here now is going to go down the drain. I might put it in the canal. No, I won't. It's got hops in it. I think it will go down the drain. But that is the NEIPA. Now, do you know, I've just been distracted again by a very pretty girl. Why does that always happen? I just, how am I supposed to live down here? God. Yeah. So that's the NEIPA. The Timmy inspired New England IPA. She's got hair same colour as mine. Right, that's it for today. Time to go and have another drink.